Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Here's a quick and direct update about the world of Formula One, keeping you informed as we head into another race week. If you don't want to miss anything, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our community. And if you enjoy this content, give it a like. It helps support our work here at Grand Prix Plus. Now, let's talk about one of the most significant figures in F1 engineering, Adrian Newey. As you know, Newey left Red Bull last year and has since joined Aston Martin, starting his new role a few months ago. However, his involvement so far has been exclusively focused on the 2026 car, which will be built under the new technical regulations set to radically change the sport. A few weeks ago, there were reports of internal dissatisfaction within the Aston Martin team. Some members were reportedly frustrated that Newey had refused to get involved with solving the issues of their 2025 car, which has shown serious performance problems this season. The team had hoped he might contribute to at least mitigating those problems to make the car more competitive. However, it seems the team and Newey have now reached a middle ground. Some of the concepts and components designed for the 2026 car have already been introduced into the 2025 chassis, serving 2 purposes. First, to help improve the current car's performance, and second, to test whether these ideas for the future car will actually work in real race conditions, confirming whether the data from wind tunnel experiments and simulations aligns with the on-track reality. At the Imola Grand Prix, Aston Martin debuted part of these updates on their car, with further developments planned for the upcoming races. The immediate result was a noticeable improvement in performance. Both Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll displayed stronger form, especially in qualifying and race pace. Unfortunately, both drivers were somewhat hampered by safety car incidents and other on-track variables, but the overall performance trend was positive. The big news for this week's Monaco Grand Prix is that Adrian Newey will be physically present in the Aston Martin garage for the first time since he left Red Bull. Since his departure, Newey has not been seen actively participating in any race weekend operations. His presence at Monaco will therefore mark a significant moment for both him and the team. However, it's important to note that, according to reports, Newey is expected to be there primarily as an observer, analyzing data, evaluating the new updates, and familiarizing himself with the working dynamics of the team in race conditions. His role, for now, is not expected to involve making direct suggestions, participating in setup adjustments, or taking on active technical responsibilities during the weekend. Nonetheless, just having Adrian Newey present in the garage is a major plus for Aston Martin. His experience, technical knowledge, and sheer presence add significant value, not just in terms of engineering, but also in bolstering the team's brand image and reputation within the paddock and with sponsors. Of course, the big question is, will Newey be able to truly remain just an observer? Or will he feel compelled to get involved, offering advice and perhaps even steering some of the technical decisions on the spot? Only time will tell. Now over to you, what do you think? With Adrian Newey on board, will Aston Martin finally make its way back to the top of Formula One, either this season or next? Do you think his influence is already making a difference? Or will it take until 2026 for us to see the real impact of his work? This past weekend at the Imola Grand Prix, we witnessed a significant shift in the balance of power on the Formula One grid. Red Bull managed to outperform McLaren, showcasing an incredibly strong race pace. Max Verstappen dominated the race, taking the victory without ever being truly threatened by his rivals. Of course, the circumstances of the race also played a part in Verstappen's dominance, but it's undeniable that Red Bull's car performance improved significantly. Let us know in the comments. Were you expecting Verstappen to be this strong? Do you think, from now on, he'll become a more active contender for the championship title? The Red Bull's sudden surge in form caught McLaren somewhat off guard, particularly since the track conditions in Imola were very similar to what we saw a few weeks ago at Miami, where McLaren was dominant, especially due to their superior tire management. But this time, it seems that Red Bull managed to optimize tire usage far better, with Verstappen executing long stints that greatly benefited him during critical phases of the race. One of those moments came when the safety car was deployed. Verstappen was able to gain significant time during a pit stop, allowing him to maintain his advantage over the McLarens. Even after the safety car period bunched up the pack, Verstappen left no chance for the McLaren drivers to mount an attack, displaying a level of dominance that we hadn't seen from Red Bull in quite some time. Up until now, they often required extreme conditions to stand out, such as what happened at the Japanese Grand Prix. When asked about the turnaround, Red Bull insisted that there was nothing extraordinary about their car following the updates. Instead, they pointed out that McLaren made strategic mistakes that set them back. Regardless of who was at fault, what's clear is that the margins at the top of the grid are razor thin, and even a small update, such as the one Red Bull introduced this weekend, can make a car much more balanced and competitive. After the race, Verstappen confirmed that his car's operating window had significantly widened, meaning it was no longer sliding excessively. He remarked that the grip levels on Sunday were far superior compared to what he experienced on Friday, where he had voiced significant frustrations about the car's behavior. The team managed to fine-tune the setup on Saturday, which translated into the strong race performance we saw. Another factor that clearly worked in Red Bull's favor was the characteristics of the Imola circuit itself. The high-speed corners suit Red Bull's car much better, whereas McLaren's strength lies in low-speed sections. Nevertheless, the difference between the two cars across all sectors was minimal. If this trend continues, the championship battle is far from over. Not only will McLaren's drivers be in the mix, but Verstappen looks poised to make a serious attempt at securing his fifth world title in 2025. Both teams, McLaren and Red Bull, are expected to bring further upgrades in the coming races. As we've seen, these small details make a big difference in the current F1 landscape. A particularly crucial round will be the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona, where many teams, including these two, will introduce significant new developments. Adding to the intrigue, the FIA's new technical directives are set to come into force soon, which could further shake up the competitive order. These rule adjustments could alter how some teams manage their car aerodynamics and components, potentially creating yet more changes in the pecking order. Here's a quick update to keep you informed about the latest developments in the world of Formula One. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Always direct and to the point. This time, we're diving into the escalating battle between Red Bull and McLaren, one of the most heated rivalries of this season. McLaren came out strong in the opening rounds, often appearing to have the faster car. However, Red Bull has been closely monitoring their rivals, going so far as to accuse McLaren of running something irregular on their car. Over the past several months, and notably since last season, there have been whispers about McLaren's braking system possibly operating outside of the regulations. Recently, rumors surfaced that Red Bull contacted the FIA, claiming that McLaren's brake temperatures were achieving levels that were nearly impossible under traditional systems. Now, according to Racing News, it's confirmed that Red Bull did indeed approach the FIA. They not only raised formal concerns, but also presented evidence, asking whether these techniques could be legally replicated on their own cars. This is a particularly intriguing aspect. Red Bull wasn't only accusing, but also probing if they could adopt a similar solution. In recent races, team photographers were even spotted trackside with thermal cameras, capturing images of the rear brake assemblies of McLaren's car. Red Bull's working theory is that McLaren may have developed an intricate network of tubing designed to overcool the rear brakes, reducing heat transfer to the tires and thereby improving tire management, a key advantage in modern F1 racing. The FIA responded, clarifying that such a system would be illegal, but also affirming that McLaren does not currently have such a setup installed. Despite this official position, Racing News suggests that McLaren's noticeable dip in performance at the recent Imola Grand Prix might be connected to Red Bull's complaint, hinting that McLaren may have quietly modified or removed part of their brake setup in response to the scrutiny. This speculation has fueled the idea that Red Bull's strategic use of FIA oversight is not just about maintaining fair play, but about using regulatory processes to curb rival advantages. Without the need for new regulations, these inspections and subsequent clarifications can force competitors to rethink or remove innovative solutions, thereby benefiting Red Bull indirectly. For their part, McLaren has denied making any changes to their car before Imola, especially regarding the rear brakes. However, It's impossible to ignore the coincidence between the reported FIA involvement and McLaren's reduced competitiveness, just as Red Bull managed to reclaim the lead in the performance stakes. Looking ahead, all eyes turn to the upcoming Spanish Grand Prix, often seen as a key turning point in the season. By then, we should get a clearer picture of the real pecking order as the new FIA technical directives take full effect and teams roll out their latest upgrades. This brewing off-track battle between Red Bull and McLaren is shaping up to be as intense as the on-track action itself. With both teams eyeing the championship and the FIA caught in the middle, the stakes couldn't be higher. So what do you think? Is Red Bull justified in raising these concerns, potentially forcing McLaren to adjust their car? Or is this a case of gamesmanship that could backfire? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned here at Grand Prix Plus for all the latest news and analysis.